you mentioned hemp oil, and it's that it can be a good tool. Again, I think there's still a lot of confusion when it comes to some of these medicines. Explain the difference between that and CBD oil.
Sure.
And what maybe some of the benefits are, because again, they're both becoming increasingly popular all over the country.
So think of it as CBD as a component of what we now call full spectrum hemp oil. So I like to think of it in the same way like soy. You can take soy, which has phytoestrogens, that, soy has components within it that can bind to estrogen receptors, particularly the beta receptor. So we've had this interesting thing with plants that they can bind to our own receptors. That's been around for a while. We've just, of course, more recently discovered this whole thing with the endocannabinoid system. So part of the component of the plant hemp are the cannabinoids, okay, which includes CBD. But that's only a part. That's why we now really emphasize not using what are called isolates, where you take a piece of it. Like, I don't believe, I told you I defend the defenseless, so I defend whole organic soy. Whole meaning it's not been processed and minimally, like it's tofu, miso, edamame, that's like it, so you're not turning it into soy burgers or soy pretending to be ice cream or turkey or weird other, turkey and bacon and all the stuff that they make out of soy, right? So it's not that. So it's kind of the same with hemp oil. You don't want to take an isolate and take a piece of it out. It turns out that, and this is true for most plants, that we can take pieces out, like a polyphenol out, and I use this too, and that's sort of like green medicine if you take an isolate out. But there's magic in the whole food, there's magic in the whole plant, and it turns out that with hemp oil, it's not just CBD, it includes CBD, but it also has, by the way, a teeny bit of THC, but really, really tiny, so you're not going to have the same, everything is psychoactive, everything affects the brain, right? But you don't have the same type of effects on the brain that you would have if you had a high THC containing, say, marijuana, which now some of the marijuanas have like 1/3 of what's in them is THC, and that is really not really good. That's people who just want to really be high all the time. That's really not what we're talking about here. So there's just a tiny bit of THC in whole, and if you have the whole hemp. But there's other things. There's terpenes, there's other polyphenols. So it's like a plant, it's complex. Sure. And when you have all of this, including the CBD, that's what they call the entourage effect. So you have this sort of additive benefit of the whole plant working together, and it works on more than just the endocannabinoid receptors like CB1 and CB2. It works on other receptors in the body that work on pain. That's a different set of receptors, and other receptors that work on metabolic functions. Those are some different ones. So they all work in a beautiful synergy. To me, everything about life is a miracle. And having a plant that can have all these benefits for a human is really a miracle. But I have respect for so many plants. So I love hemp oil and I love the plant, but I also see benefits from so many other plants. That's why I don't want people to get so super focused that, of course, this is a new amazing tool as we understand it, but there's like good data on flaxseed. It helps women to have more regular cycles, and we have great data on all kinds of fruits. Like apples and onions and garlic. So we want to see everything in the full context, that we don't want to just get a narrow focus, but it's a wonderful new tool that we should use in conjunction with having a wonderful full lifestyle program and doing everything we can to maintain, of course, the health of the endocannabinoid system, and really everything, because all links together. So it sounds, sort of cliche, but it's all connected.